0 miles on the odometer. Over a year rotting under the sun on a dealer lot. That is not a nightmare scenario. That is the exact mathematical reality facing dealerships across America right now. Just 24 months ago, people were throwing desperate dealer markups and signed blank checks at sales managers just to get a spot on a wait list. Now, the tables have completely turned. Showrooms have transformed into high-interest overflow parking lots. Floor plan loans are eating dealers alive, and the automotive industry is facing a massive inventory gridlock. Buyers are keeping their wallets shut, and they have excellent reasons for doing so. We are breaking down the exact real-time market data, structural failures, and pricing collapses to give you the truth. Let us count down the 14 brand new cars that nobody wants right now, moving from the bad to the absolute worst lot poison in America. 14. Buick Envision. This isn't a story about a fundamentally broken car. It is a masterclass in what happens when geopolitical tariffs collide with corporate pricing strategies at the worst possible moment. The Buick Envision is engineered and assembled in China. When a massive 45% tariff landed on Chinese-made vehicles, General Motors didn't eat the cost to protect their market share. They passed every single dollar directly down to the consumer. That single corporate decision triggered a sudden $5,000 price spike, violently shoving the starting price of this compact crossover past the $43,000 threshold, with average transaction prices settling at $47,164. The core problem here is expectations. At $47,000, buyers expect premium driving dynamics, high-end materials, and status. The Envision is a perfectly adequate, completely uninspiring commuter car that feels like a budget product wearing an inflated price tag. Consumers are smart. They can read a window sticker, and they are flat out refusing to pay premium German luxury money for a Buick crossover. 13. Jeep Grand Cherokee L. This is the very first Jeep on our list, and it will absolutely not be the last. The Grand Cherokee L is Stellantis' three-row family flagship. On paper, it still presents itself as a highly capable, recognizable platform. The problem is that Stellantis has spent the last few years playing an incredibly dangerous, highly arrogant game, aggressively inflating MSRPs and relying entirely on brand legacy to force buyers to sign the paperwork. That game is officially over. The Grand Cherokee L now commands an average transaction price of $50,789. At over 50 grand, you are no longer competing against basic family haulers. You are stepping directly into the line of fire of the Kia Telluride, the Hyundai Palisade, and Toyota's dominant three-row family lineup. These are vehicles that have quietly surpassed Jeep in terms of interior build quality, real-world technology integration, and long-term powertrain reliability. Jeep simply does not possess the luxury brand equity required to win a sales war based on name recognition alone anymore. 12. Ford Bronco. This one is going to hurt for a lot of off-road enthusiasts because not very long ago, the Ford Bronco was the undisputed king of automotive hype. We were talking about multi-year waiting lists, buyers paying $20,000 over sticker, and a massive cultural phenomenon. Today, that frantic hype has completely evaporated into thin air. Let's be fair, the Bronco's off-road hardware is genuinely elite. If you're crawling up the side of a mountain, it's incredible. The problem is that the vast majority of Bronco buyers don't live on a trail. They live in the suburbs. They use this truck for daily school drop-offs, highway commuting, and supermarket runs. For those real-world duties, the Bronco's structural compromises are incredibly frustrating to live with. Wind noise leaking through the removable roof panels is a constant, deafening complaint from owners, with many describing it as completely unbearable at highway speeds. Then you have water leaks through the seals, a punishingly stiff body-on-frame ride quality, and mediocre fuel economy numbers. But the final nail in the coffin right now is a major active recall on the APIM module, which is the central computer brain powering the main touchscreen dashboard display. The module can overheat, causing your entire center screen to go completely pitch black for up to 5 minutes at a time while you're actively driving down the road. Losing your navigation and backup camera on a vehicle with a $37,455 starting price is a massive safety hazard. Dealers are trapped holding a mountain of 21,126 units, translating to a massive 316 days supply. 11. Dodge Charger. The brand new Dodge Charger represents one of the most polarizing, high-stakes corporate rebrands in modern automotive history. Dodge made the radical executive decision to take two iconic, legendary American nameplates, the Charger and the Challenger, merge them onto a single architecture, and offer it as either a traditional gas-powered car or a full electric vehicle. It was a bold concept, but it is failing to connect with either side of the market. The core internal combustion crowd is actively grieving the death of the legendary Hemi V8. Its mechanical replacement is a 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged inline-six, pushing out up to 550 horsepower. On paper, the technical performance metrics are impressive. In reality, it simply does not feel or sound like an authentic, old-school American muscle car. Muscle cars are driven by emotion, exhaust notes, and mechanical character, elements that numbers on a spec sheet can never replace. 10. Jeep Gladiator. Jeep number 2 on our list is the Gladiator. When this mid-sized truck initially launched, it was a genuinely unique proposition, a Wrangler with a functional truck bed attached to the back. For a brief window of time, that sheer design novelty was enough to keep showrooms humming. It isn't anymore. As economic pressures mount, buyers are becoming hyper-practical, and close daily scrutiny reveals the Gladiator's immense lifestyle compromises. It delivers a harsh, unrefined on-road ride, mediocre fuel economy from the aging V6, and a truck bed that is shorter and significantly less functional than what you get from a dedicated mid-size utility pickup. Meanwhile, the mid-size truck segment has evolved at a blistering pace. If you have a specific lifestyle need for an open-air off-road truck, this is officially the best buyer's market in the history of the nameplate to force a massive discount. 9. Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Chevrolet Blazer EV is a painful textbook case study of what happens when a legacy car manufacturer rushes a high-tech product out the factory gates before the software architecture is stable. The core headline controversy started when General Motors made the executive decision to completely ban Apple CarPlay and Android Auto from the cabin, forcing buyers to use a native, subscription-vulnerable, Google-based infotainment system instead. The real-world response from actual owners has been utterly brutal. Digital driver clusters freeze mid-drive, backup cameras fail to initialize, and owners are reporting bizarre electrical gremlins where the vehicle refuses to shut down when parked. GM went so far as to issue a sweeping stop-sale order to patch these glaring bugs. Yet buyers are still reporting persistent software errors. Beyond the digital flaws, there is a serious mechanical safety recall actively plaguing the vehicle. 8. Nissan Altima. There is an underlying sense of sadness regarding the current state of the Nissan Altima. This sedan served as a highly reliable, affordable family champion for millions of working-class families across multiple decades. But the writing is officially on the wall. Nissan has confirmed that this is the final production year for the Altima nameplate. The exact moment that corporate decision went public, the resale value math became impossible for any logical consumer to ignore. Why would you willingly invest your hard-earned money into a brand new car that has been publicly marked for death when a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord will hold its residual value significantly better over the next 5 years? Beyond the immediate discontinuation factor, long-term reliability anxieties have haunted the Altima for years. 7. Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep number 3, occupying a spot right in the middle of our list, is the standard 4-door Grand Cherokee. This is a massive structural crisis for the brand because the standard Grand Cherokee was historically the golden goose for Jeep dealerships. It was the absolute sweet spot of the entire American midsize SUV segment. Highly capable, visually iconic, and reasonably priced for middle-class households. Stellantis has completely erased that historical identity. The average transaction price for a standard 4-door model has ballooned to $47,268. By dragging the vehicle up into that pricing tier, Jeep has stepped into a ring where they are getting completely outclassed on build quality, long-term reliability metrics, and basic cabin luxury. Consumers are no longer willing to look past Jeep's historically below-average reliability ratings when a vehicle costs nearly $50,000. Furthermore, the internet is flooded with consumer horror stories regarding terrible dealership customer service experiences experiences, long wait times for basic replacement parts, and unresolved electrical issues. Brand loyalty has a hard financial ceiling, and Jeep has slammed into it at full speed. There are an incredible 24,875 units sitting on dealer lots right now. That is the single highest raw volume inventory number on this entire list, leaving dealerships saddled with a brutal 257-day supply. 6. Mitsubishi Outlander. The Mitsubishi Outlander tries to sell itself to the public as an affordable, high-utility, three-row family SUV. The core issue is that the vehicle's mechanical hardware cannot back up the marketing claims. Mitsubishi equipped this heavy, three-row vehicle with a tiny 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine, making a weak 174 horsepower. When you drop that low-output engine into a crossover that weighs well over 3,700 pounds before you even load in a family or luggage, the real-world performance is completely unacceptable. Automotive reviewers and daily owners use the exact same word to describe the driving experience: lethargic. Attempting to merge onto a fast-moving highway with a full load of passengers shouldn't feel like a dangerous, stressful event, but in the Outlander, it does. Then, there is the structural reality of the cabin. The heavily advertised third row of seating may be technically present on the spec sheet, but it is completely unusable for adults or even growing teenagers. 5. Jeep Wrangler 2-door. Our fourth and final Jeep on the list is the iconic two-door variant of the Wrangler. We need to be highly precise here. The high-volume, four-door unlimited model is a completely different sales story. The traditional two-door model is the vehicle facing a catastrophic demand collapse. The cultural consumer shift over the last decade has been definitive. Almost every buyer who wants the rugged Jeep aesthetic also wants the daily practicality of four doors, accessible rear seats, and actual cargo volume for road trips. The two-door Wrangler has been relegated to a highly specific, ultra-niche hobbyist market, yet Jeep continues to price it as if it were a high-volume mainstream vehicle. A mid-tier Willys-trimmed two-door now carries a Windows sticker breaching the $51,000 mark, with average transaction prices landing at $41,917. That is an enormous amount of money to demand for a highly compromised, body-on-frame vehicle that delivers a loud highway ride, constant wind buffering, and minimal utility. Making matters significantly worse for dealership sales reps, buyers are flooding online forums with reports of immediate powertrain failures and active check engine lights before their digital odometers even clear the 1,000-mile mark. Word travels fast in the off-road community, and buyers are completely avoiding the two-door. 4. Volkswagen ID.4. The Volkswagen ID.4 has officially transformed into absolute lot poison for German dealerships across the United States. This vehicle is a perfect storm of bad software infrastructure, uninspiring styling, and a sudden shift in federal regulatory math. The ID.4 has been plagued from day one by a highly frustrating, laggy infotainment system and touch-capacitive cabin buttons that do not illuminate at night, making basic climate control adjustments in the dark a total guessing game. But the massive blow to the ID.4 came down to supply chain tracking, which stripped the vehicle of its critical $7,500 federal EV tax credit eligibility. The moment that consumer incentive evaporated, the financial equation collapsed. At an average listing price of $49,452, mainstream buyers are looking at alternative hybrid and electric options that offer superior range, faster thermal charging speeds, and highly intuitive user interfaces. Volkswagen dealers are trapped in an absolute floor plan crisis with this vehicle. There are thousands of units completely frozen in place, driving the market metrics up to a staggering industry-wide emergency level of 716 days supply. If a Volkswagen dealership is paying interest on these cars every single month they sit under the sun, they are bleeding cash, making this one of the most heavily discounted vehicles in the entire country if you're willing to deal with the software quirks. 3. Polestar 4. Slotted right into our top 3 slowest-selling vehicles is the premium Polestar 4. This vehicle is a classic example of design form completely overriding daily automotive function, combined with a brutal luxury electric vehicle depreciation curve. Polestar made the highly controversial design decision to completely eliminate the physical glass rear window from this car, replacing it entirely with a roof-mounted camera feeding a digital rear-view mirror inside the cabin. While that sounds highly futuristic plastic in a design studio. In the real world, consumers are deeply uncomfortable with the lack of an analog failsafe if that camera system fails, gets covered in mud, or freezes up during a winter storm. Beyond the polarizing design, the financial realities of the Polestar brand are terrifying to savvy car buyers. 2. Ford Mustang Mach-E. The numbers surrounding the Ford Mustang Mach-E are sending absolute shockwaves through Dearborn, Michigan. In the opening quarter of this year, nationwide deliveries for the Mach-E plummeted by over 60% compared to the exact same period last year. That is not a minor statistical dip. That is a total demand collapse for Ford's flagship electric vehicle. Three massive market forces converged simultaneously to cause this inventory disaster. First, the crucial $7,500 federal EV tax incentive is completely gone for the Mach-E line, instantly making it thousands of dollars more expensive than its primary market competitors. Second, the real-world depreciation data has turned out to be completely horrific. The Mach-E is currently shedding roughly 60% of its original purchase value over a 5-year ownership cycle. 1. Audi SQ5. Here we are at the absolute peak of the inventory crisis, the slowest-selling high-volume premium vehicle in the United States. The Audi SQ5 underwent a highly anticipated clean sheet total generational redesign. Historically, Audi loyalists are some of the most repeat buyers in the luxury segment, but this new generation has triggered an absolute mutiny among the brand's core fan base. Let's clarify. The turbocharged V6 powertrain still performs beautifully, and the mechanical driving dynamics are sharp. The total disaster is everything else surrounding the driver. The interior cabin, which is supposed to be the absolute crown jewel of a premium German vehicle carrying a steep $74,484 average transaction price, is facing fierce criticism for its drop in material quality. Audi lined the high-touch surfaces with massive sheets of cheap, glossy piano black plastic. It fingerprints instantly, scratches if you look at it wrong, and looks thoroughly worn out within weeks of driving. When you look closely at the data across all 14 of these vehicles, a very clear structural trend emerges. American car buyers are not being irrational or unpredictable. The consumer base is simply reacting logically to a distorted market. When manufacturers aggressively hike prices, let software stability go sideways, skip out on material build quality, or break fundamental consumer trust with endless safety recalls, buyers will simply take their money elsewhere. But there is a massive silver lining to this entire inventory gridlock if you're currently shopping for a new vehicle. Every single day a car sits on a lot, it costs the dealership money in floor plan interest fees. They are completely desperate to purge these specific models from their books before the financial year closes out. If any of these vehicles genuinely align with your daily driving needs, and you can look past their documented flaws, right now is the exact moment you possess the highest level of legal negotiating leverage. You can walk into a showroom, throw down a lowball offer, and force a massive discount. Turn the dealer's inventory crisis into your financial victory.